Back again with another video, and for this video here, I'm going to give you my quick thoughts on Samaritan, 2022 film starring Sylvester Stallone and directed by Julius Avery. Now, it's based on the comic, I believe, from 2014. I don't know much about the source material, so I'm not going to really get into that here. Now, the director, Julius Avery, I know this is the same guy that directed Overlord, which I liked. I have that on DVD somewhere. I thought that was a solid movie. And overall, I will say this was a decent flick. I mean, yeah, from the trailers, you can say it definitely borrows a lot from Hancock. You know, that type of vibe and tone. But it was actually a little bit more serious than I thought. I mean, again, I thought this was a decent movie. Stallone, I thought he was decent here as our lead character, the kid in the film, and I don't know the kid's name. Maybe I should know that. I should have looked it up beforehand, but let me get it up right here. Javon Walton. And I thought he was fine. I thought him and Stallone had a good rapport going on throughout the movie. You know, the kid wasn't annoying or anything like that. I mean, the supporting characters, you have the mom in the film. You have our main villain, Cyrus, who is played by, I can't pronounce this guy's name, but this guy, he's been in some other stuff. This guy actually reminds me of like a light Michael Shannon. And almost I kind of wish that, Michael Shannon was the villain here. This guy was fine. He was serviceable, but I mean, towards the end of the film, it got to, okay, there was a couple of scenes where he would yell, and I'm like, are you trying to go for Brian Thompson here? Like he's trying to be Brian Thompson or something. And again, this guy, the villain of the film, the antagonist, I thought he was fine. He was serviceable. But he kind of reminded me a little bit of Michael Shannon. And I'm like, I'd rather just have Michael Shannon, good actor. Why not get him in the film? Have him and Stallone go one-on-one. But, the supporting cast, is fine. I would say, Stallone, of course, being our lead character, he's the best actor of the film. And the kid, the character Sam, I thought, they had a good rapport going. The kid wasn't annoying or overbearing or, too much. The budget for the film, I'm not exactly sure what the budget was. I mean, it was backed by Amazon, so. But I thought, it looked good. As far as like fight scenes and stuff, you do get a couple of fight scenes in the first half of the film, and then in the third act, you get some fun stuff. And if I had to mention a couple of, I guess, lowlights here for me with this film, one, I think that it should have been rated R. I don't know the source material. I don't know how faithful it is to the comic, or I don't know how many comics there were. But I do think that this film being PG-13 kind of hurts it a little bit, because you do get some fun stuff in the third act, where Stallone's character is going through this warehouse and he's taking out bad guys, throwing tires, taking out people with fire extinguishers. And I mean, it's fun, it's good, but I felt that at the same time, an R rating definitely would have helped here, sort of punch it up a little bit. I'm not saying you have to go full on blood and violence, but it's good action. But again, I felt that one of the lowlights for me here is that it should have been rated R. Like, really go for it, punch it up a little bit with an R rating. And again, I'm not saying that you have to go like full, John Wick. Maybe that would have been cool. Maybe that would have been the answer, the solution here. Just really go for it, because I'm I'm like, man, there's some good action here, but man, it could really use some punching up with an R rating. And some of the CGI, that's another low light for me too. I really see there's some bad CGI here, and the finale of the film, where you have some CGI fire and stuff. And I'm not really getting into like certain scenes here or the story all that much, or I don't want to give anything away here, but there's some CGI that's not that good to look at. I mean, yeah, you could definitely see that there's some fire effects in here that's CG, and I would say that's another low light for me. Maybe also too, I think that the villain, I say he's fine, but I'm like, you could have had a better actor. I'm not saying the actor was, I'm not saying the actor was bad, but this just not memorable. He's fine for the plot, he's fine for the story, but he's not really memorable. Again, I kept reminding me of Michael Shannon. I'm like, I'd rather just have Michael Shannon. Maybe, I think now in the beginning of the film they do kind of go into a little bit of the story, like right off the bat, like some backstory about Samaritan, and I like some of the animation in the beginning and sort of like the narration. I thought, that was cool. I like that this film is not overly jokey, like a lot of Marvel films that you see now. A lot of comic book films that are badly written, a lot of bad jokes, jokes that are just lame and unfunny. You don't get that much here. I mean, so I like that aspect that, it took it a little bit serious. The direction, I thought it was decent. I mean, it felt like something that you would have seen in the 90s. The more I thought about it, like, this is something that definitely I could have seen this type of film, the way it was directed and filmed, and Stallone's acting, like this could have easily had fit into the 90s. So I like the tone of the movie, again, that it's not overly jokey or going for unfunny humor. I mean, you do have a couple of scenes, but it's mostly, again, the rapport between Sly and the kid. So overall, I kind of went into some stuff here, but without really spoiling the film too much. But again, I still say it's a decent flick. Definitely better than, I mean, when I compare to what Stallone has done in the past few years, I have not seen the Escape Plan sequels, but I can guarantee you it's better than that. You know what? I'll say it's better than Creed and Creed 2. Some people might disagree with that, but I'll say it's better than those. Rambo 5, definitely. Even though, again, I have some issues with this film not being PG-13 rated R. It is PG-13. It is. It is that. I mean, but this has a little bit more. This is more going forward than Rambo 5. Rambo 5 was not needed. It was not a good movie at all. And this is a better film than that. So compared to Sly's recent works and other films he's done recently, yeah, this is kind of a step in the right direction. I'm not going to say it's a great movie or, like it's a 9 out of 10, that this is the comeback for Stallone. It's a step in the right direction, but being that, Stallone is almost, what? No, right now he's 76. And I'm a big fan of Stallone. But it's kind of getting to that point where, he's had his comebacks. And, in recent years, really in the past decade, it's been a lot of wasted opportunity, whether that be Escape Plan or a lot of bad choices. Like the Escape Plan sequels or, Rambo 5. And, it's like, okay, we finally get something decent here with Samaritan, but I don't know if that's going to be the turnaround for Sly. As much as I love the guy, and I'm a big fan of his work, more so his past work. But I felt this, while I do have some issues as far as like, being a bit too tame at times, or, the CG, definitely noticeable. The villain, meh. But I thought Stallone was good. I thought him and the kid had a good rapport going on. I felt it moved at a good pace. Decent direction from the same guy that directed Overlord. It looked good. I mean, and it really, right off the bat, you get right into the story. So I like that aspect of it, that it gets right to it. It doesn't drag on. It's not overly funny. I mean, there's a couple of jokes in there, or, some fun stuff between Stallone and the kid, but, to me it works. And it's a little bit of a charming banter. So yeah, decent flick. Maybe if I would give this out of 5 stars, maybe 3. So yeah, I don't talk about star ratings that much, or 1 to 10 ratings, but 3 out of 5. I think, I don't know what it's at right now on 9DB, but yeah, so that's my, I guess if you want to say review, but so quick thoughts and review of Samaritan. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and see you later.